Hey everyone, Jo here with SportsGrid. It's time for a Puck It with Jo. Firstly, happy Monday. I hope you guys all had a fantastic Super Bowl Sunday. Not the outcome I wanted. I really wanted to see the 49ers be able to get the win, but I tell you, that last drive by Casey was something else, especially with Patrick Mahomes being able to throw that passing touchdown to finish it. So, congratulations to all the Kansas City Chiefs fans out there and KC. It was a great Super Bowl. I loved every single second of it. Got to hang out with some good friends, watch the game. So it was a lot of fun. But we're going to start talking about these 4 games on the ice. Updates on Connor Bedard. It looks like he will return next week to the lineup. I'm not sure how much he will play. So, with him coming back into the lineup, that is a boost for the Chicago Blackhawks. We know that. I wonder if he's going to come out a little bit timid though. So, we'll see how Connor Bedard does come out. And I see you guys all jumping in here. Thank you for being here for sure, Lauren. Thank you to you. And David, I'm with you. It's the Flames tonight. The Rangers, I've got some numbers for you on Igor Shesterkin actually at home. Um, I don't trust him as much at home as I would on the road. So I do think this is a nice opportunity for Calgary to be able to pull off that win. Let's get this money today, you guys. That is for sure. You gotta like Matt Boldy over those 2.5 shots. I do like that. And Eck over 3.5 shots. I like where you're going with that. You're looking for unders. I got a couple games I'm looking to push to that over. So the damn kicker for San Francisco. I was a heartbreaking loss. You guys know earlier when those lines first came out, I took Kansas City with that plus money, expecting them to move into the favorite role. And when they didn't and the line stayed the same, I hit San Francisco for a full bet, laying 8.5, because I thought it was going to be a blowout with just how everything was coming in. Everything looked fishy. So I ended up offsetting basically with those bets. My money line covered what I put on the laying 8.5. And then I did get the overtime, which I forgot. I got the bonus bet on the overtime. So that was a nice $200 on 20. So otherwise, some prop bets came in. If you got Brock Purdy late, you went under his total because it moved to 12.5. If you got it at 11.5, he hit 12, and you hopefully had the over. Kind of seems rigged. Seems rigged. I don't want to say it not, but let's get moving on these games. We're going to make some money. So let's do that today. The Arizona Coyotes and the Philadelphia Flyers, the Calgary Flames and the New York Rangers, the Kraken and the Devils and the Minnesota Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights are the games on deck. We're first going to look at the Seattle Kraken taking on the New Jersey Devils. Now, the Kraken rolling in here at plus 120. I do think there's value on them in this position. The New Jersey Devils coming in at minus 144. I just don't trust in this team at this price. Total of 6.5, minus 120 to the under and minus 102 to the over. Now, I know some of you are liking the unders in these games tonight. Jack Hughes is still up on the scoreboard. I had conflicting information on if Jack Hughes will be playing tonight, but FanDuel has him up. So you can bet him. So I do believe Jack Hughes is going to be on the ice. I look here at this total, and I've got to take it over the 6.5 at minus 102. Joey Decord has been phenomenal in goal, and I know we look here at the Seattle Kraken, and they're not a high volume team for goals. They're only averaging that 2.76 and 28.9 shots on goal. But this Devils team gives them up, you guys. They're allowing an average of 3.52 goals per game. Their kill is at 79.5%. And I do think how the Kraken play in this never give up mentality, we can really see them getting at least 3 goals on the board. So then we're looking at this Devils team, and we know the Devils average at 3.38 goals per game. They're putting up 31.3 shots on goal. And their faceoffs, their ability to win these faceoffs, 4th best overall in the league, winning 53.9% of the faceoffs. So I do think they will come in strong. Neither team has elite kills out there. Decent power plays on both sides. We got the Devils power play converting at 24.2% and the Kraken converting at 21.3%. So I'm looking at this one. I do think it can be a 4-3 style game. Both of these teams are sitting at 6 points out of a wild card spot in their divisions. So we've got the Seattle Kraken sitting 6th in the Pacific and the New Jersey Devils 5th in the Metro. So they're going to be hungry to come out here. And I know the last game they played was a lower scoring game. And the Devils did win that last game 2-1. and they've won 3 of the last 5. But there's something about the Kraken right now. I do think at this value, I have to hit them here just with how the Devils are giving up those goals. I just don't trust it. And I know that they haven't been scoring because you look at their past 5 road games that they've lost. Well, they've lost the past 5. It's not just the past 5 that they've lost. They have a goal differential with their opponents of 17-6. So in 5 games on the road, only 6 goals, and their opponents have been able to score 17. But this total 6.5. Even if the Kraken have a bad night and can't come out offensively, I trust in the New Jersey Devils to at least put up 4 or 5 goals if that's how the Kraken are playing. But I do think 4-3, this goes over. We have a 7 goal game. And I think it could be 4-3 either way. I really do think the Kraken can push this one and get the win. And you guys know I love that plus money. If you're looking at goal scorers in this one, Jack Hughes, he's the go-to for the New Jersey Devils, but the books know it. It's only plus 150. Longer shot, Tyler Toffoli, plus 190, and Jasper Bratt, plus 185. If you're looking at the Seattle Kraken, that's where you're going to get the value, and I do think they can get the goals tonight. So Jared McCann coming in at plus 210, and a Dunn coming in at plus 550. I love a plus 550, you guys. Let's see money come in on that as well. The Seattle Kraken team total to the over. I would hit their team total to the over if you're getting good value. I wasn't getting good value when I tried to look at that one to the over. So I do think it would be a solid look. I do think they'll score on the Devils tonight. Like I said, this Devils team giving up an average of 3.3637 goals per game. Okay. It's my team. Time to talk the Calgary Flames. Now the Calgary Flames taking on the New York Rangers. Calgary rolling in here at plus 140 and the Rangers at minus 170. Total of 5.5 at minus 132 to the over. Plus 106 to the under. I have to go over with this one with how Calgary has been so explosive offensively. Now, I know the Rangers are a team that can lock down on defense. In Calgary, we've seen a little bit more out of them. But I do think for Calgary to win this, it has to go over that total of 5.5. Unless Jacob Markstrom absolutely stands on his head, and he has every possibility of doing so. Jacob Markstrom has been playing very solid for the Calgary Flames. I am going to take his team total. His team total over 27.5 save shots on goals coming in at minus 124. When we look at the last couple of games, Jacob Markstrom has been playing on this win streak. The last 2 games, the defense allowed 35 and 37 shots on him, and he saved 37 and 40 of those. So he has been phenomenal out there on the ice, and that doesn't make sense. He saved 35 and 37 shots on goal on 37 and 40. Again, I wrote that down wrong. There's no, oh yeah, that does make sense. I'm just thinking it backwards in my head. So if you guys understand my logic behind my notes that I made for myself, that is where it's at. Long story short, Jacob Markstrom has been so solid in his last 5 games. He is sitting there 9-6-1 with a 2.39 goals against average and a 0.926 save percentage. So I love what we're seeing out of Markey out there. And this Calgary team, ever since they let go of Elias Lindholm and got Kuzmenko in the lineup, they've looked so different out there. You even look at the older players like Nazem Kadri looking like he has a life again out there on the ice, and Huberdeau, the same thing. So we're seeing these players step up with these younger players coming in. Connor Zary has been so impactful out there for the Calgary Flames as well. And when we look at the New York Rangers, I really had to look at Igor Shesterkin and how he has been at home. So overall, he's got a 2.86 goals against average. That save percentage below 900 at 0.899. Now, in his last 5 starts, he's allowed 16 goals in those last 5 starts. He's 8-6 at home this season. Who would have thought that out of Igor? And I know he got off to some bumpy starts at the start, and we've seen some solid games, but I still can't get past that 3.04 goals against average and a 0.890 save percentage at home. So I'm fading Igor here. I know it's never good to fade Igor, especially in the Garden. It's been like one of those things year after year, Igor at home in the Garden. It's just not looking that way this year. So I do think you have every possibility to hit Jacob Markstrom for his over save shots on goal, but I would stay off Igor Shesterkin. Now, when we look at when these two teams played last, the New York Rangers did win back in October. 3-1 win. But Calgary's won 6 of the last 8. And with how inspired this team is playing out there, Huska really has this team going. I do like their ability to come out nice and strong and be able to get this win. So Calgary on the money line is sitting right now at plus 140. No movement during the day. If you want to look at Calgary to come out really strong in that first period as well, that is where we've seen so much success for Calgary in their last 3 games back since the break. They've come out just firing. So that first period money line for the Calgary Flames is plus 122. If you're looking for a safer bet, I do think they can score 3 goals in this one. The over 2.5 for that team total coming in at minus 118. So that's definitely the safest. I'm hitting the first period and I'm also hitting the money line. And I'll put a little bit on that team total over 2.5. I do not see this being a low scoring 2-1 game. I do expect this to be a higher scoring game in which both of these teams have some success, because we look here at the New York Rangers and the success they've been able to have. Panarin has been absolutely phenomenal out there, and so is Chris Kreider. Now, if you're looking at both of them for the anytime goals, Panarin coming in at plus 130, you know the books are going to make you not give you the best of the number here. And Chris Kreider, he's coming in at plus 170 just because these two have been such playmakers. But if you go further down the list, looking at Adam Fox, I don't hate. He's coming in at plus 500. Now, going back to Calgary, Konazari is at plus 360. Zumenko here is at plus 220. He's one of the favorites to get the goal. Nazem Kadri, though, I would look at Nazem Kadri. He's been getting the points left, right, and center. I'd also look at him for the anytime goal. And Blake Coleman has been phenomenally strong as well. Blake Coleman for the anytime goal at plus 230. And Zari, like I said, at plus 360. So give me the over in this one. Give me Calgary. I think we've got a nice competitive game between these two, but one, Calgary is able to pull off, and the Flames in regulation. I don't hate in regulation, and yeah, 4-3 style game. I don't hate overtime either. I think this is a nice possibility to go to OT. He's been number 2 lately. He absolutely has. And I feel for Igor because he just hasn't been looking the same. That's for sure. Yeah, like the Blackhawks and Rangers game, it definitely, I do think we see it like that as well. Okay, you guys, only 4 games on the slate today. We had 2 yesterday. Sorry, not going live for Puckett with Joe. Was just dealing with a couple of things before Super Bowl, and the day gets away from you so phenomenally fast. Now, the Arizona Coyotes and the Philadelphia Flyers play at 7 p.m. Eastern. Arizona coming in as a dog on the road at plus 128, and the Philadelphia Flyers at minus 154. I know you guys know already that I don't want to touch the Flyers at minus 154. I don't trust in this team right now. The total is 5.5, minus 130 to the over, and plus 106 to the under. We look here at Erzin, and he has been strong in net for the Flyers. He's got a 2.47 goals against average and a 0.903 save percentage. And Vamelka here for the Arizona Coyotes. Now, the Coyotes are on a spiral right now. They've lost their last 5, but that game versus the Predators, it was a heartbreaking loss for them. That went to overtime, and they lost at 5-4 in OT. One of their players, one of their defensemen, I can't remember his name, so pardon me for not remembering it, but he had said it was right in our hands, that game, and they shot themselves in the foot. So I do think we get the best out of the Arizona Coyotes tonight. Could they pull off the upset? They absolutely could. Now, I really wanted to get them on the puck line plus 1.5. There is absolutely no value on them on that puck line. That puck line coming in at minus 200, but at plus 128. I do think there is value on hitting the Arizona Coyotes tonight. Now, a safer way to look is the Coyotes team total over 2.5. I really do think no matter what happens in this game, the Coyotes, win or lose, get 3 goals. Now, my question mark is how many goals will the Philadelphia Flyers get? Because this is a team that I don't trust offensively, and I don't trust their defense. I trust their goaltending. With Erzin in goal tonight, he has been solid. He's got a 2.47 as goals against average, a 903 save percentage. I don't know. The defense here does limit the opponent's ability to get these shots. I just don't have faith in this team. So they're 0-7 on the puck line as a favorite. So you guys know I won't lay minus 154. The puck line that they're sitting 0-7 on, if you did want to take them on puck line like 1.5 to break that stat, it's plus 164. So I could get behind value on the Flyers, but we're not getting value here, and we're not getting value on that puck line. And you look at the Arizona Coyotes on the puck line, 14-11 on the road. Now, the Flyers have won 7 of the last 10 meetings and 4 of the last 5 versus the Coyotes, but I do think this is a tight one. I do think we could see this one going over that total just because it's a 5.5. But I like better the Coyotes team total over 2.5. If it finishes 3-1, then we're not worried about what goals the Flyers are going to get here. So I'm going to play the Coyotes team total over 2.5 at -128. Now I'm going to look at Clayton Keller here for his shots on goal. 3+ shots on goal for Clayton Keller coming in at -128. And I do think we still see those shots on goal coming out of Owen Tibbett of the Philadelphia Flyers. 4+ shots on goal for him is -130. The anytime goal at +170. And yeah, at +170. So I do think Owen Tibbett, the shots on goal, I like better than the anytime goal, but I do think those shots are coming. I just think the Coyotes, after that disappointing loss, have every opportunity to pull off a road win here. And we look here at the Flyers. They've won their last 3. I don't trust this team to continue to roll hot. They got the win over the Kraken on Saturday, 3-2. And it's just not a team I have a lot of faith in. So let me know what you guys are thinking. Richard, how was the Ducks and the Oilers game that you went to the other day? I forgot to ask you about that. Over manana. Yeah, it's an over day for me. I really do think the next game we're going to talk about, I am looking at the under here. Flyers team total over. Yeah, you could take the Flyers team total over for sure. We know the Coyotes give up those goals as well. Okay, the last game. We've got the Minnesota Wild taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Vegas at home in this one, and they are the favorites. So let's look at these lines. Vegas coming in at -146. We haven't seen any movement during the day. +122 here for the Minnesota Wild. Total 5.5, -128 to the over, and +104 to the under. I can see this one going under, but I really don't want to hit the full game total under. I'm going to look at the Wild's team total under 2.5. I'm getting +100 for that. Aiden Hill is a net for the Vegas Golden Knights, and he has been so phenomenally strong, you guys. He's got a 1.89 goals against average and a 937 save percentage. I do think he comes out and is absolutely on fire in this game today. Now, Gustafsson on the other side, he's been strong. But his numbers overall in the season just not as great. 3.19 goals against average and a .897 save percentage. So both of these teams have won their last 2 games. We have Vegas sitting second in the Pacific. They're just 8 points behind the Vancouver Canucks. And I say just 8 points is a lot. They need every single win here. And I know Jack Eichel's out of the lineup and Mark Stone is questionable. But there is something to look at in this one. So Alex Pietrangelo, and I butchered his name, I know. It's his thousandth game tonight. So we saw with Marc-Andre Fleury, the last game for the Wild. It was his 1,000th. Why is that word so hard to say? Game. So it is for Alex Pietrangelo tonight, and you can get him coming in here for his points, for that anytime point coming in at -108. I love 2+ points comes in at +450. And if you think he can get an anytime goal, which doesn't happen very often, and the books know it, +600. Game 1,000. I'm willing. I'm taking all 3 of those, you guys. I expect a huge night out of him. We saw the huge night out of Marc-Andre Fleury in that last game. He came out absolutely flying. This is a huge step for these guys hitting that 1,000. 1,000. It's a weird word to say. Game 1,000. So I do think he will have so much success. Now, he is a defenseman, but he's a defenseman that is able to get those assists. So taking that point at -108 definitely is the safest bet. You guys know I love that plus money. So I will hit the +450 and the +600. Am I going to put a full unit? No. I'll put a full unit on the point. And then I'll put a half a unit on the other 2 bets. So that is where I'm going. But again, with Mark Stone day to day, we also have Jack Eichel out of this lineup. We need players to step up. So if you're looking at other players, I'd look at both of the centers. William Karlsson here to get a point, or the anytime goal I do like as well. And Stevenson here. I think you could look at him as well. So that's where I'm going with this game. What else do I like? Vegas in Vegas on the money line minus 146. I do think they get the win, but you can drop it to regulation and get plus 105. They're 7-1-1 overall in their last 9 games, and they won 4 of their last 5. So I do think they can continue to roll nice and hot. It's going to be hard versus the Wild because we know this Wild team can play really strong, but they haven't won their last 4 meetings in Vegas. So I do think they struggle to win here. Now, one thing to look at Vegas is they've been able to cover the puck line in their last 4 games at home. You guys know I love riding trends like that. So Vegas on the puck line laying a goal and a half is coming in at plus 164. I'm gonna put a little bit of money on Vegas on the puck line, laying the 1.5 at plus 164. I think it's a nice opportunity for them to continue to dominate here. Like I said, Adin Hill in goal, all the faith in him tonight. Now let's just look at what they're giving us for the goalie prop here for Adin Hill, because confirmation just came out before we started the show. His number is 26.5 at minus 118 to the over and minus 108 to the under. When we look at the Minnesota Wild, they are averaging only 29.9 shots on goal, but Vegas is giving up 30.5. If they are behind, I do think we see a lot of firing. So I would look at Adin Hill over the 26.5. We know the Wild are going to be hungry to light the lamp, but I just don't think they get past him. So Adin Hill to the over. It does correlate with everything else that I'm betting. I do like it 26.5. I was expecting a 28.5, to be honest with you. So I'm happy with the number they are giving us. But that is everything, you guys. I'm seeing all of your comments coming in. I appreciate all of you for being here today. Maybe 4-1. Yeah, I could see it being a 4-1 game and staying under that total of 5.5. So the last game has hit under in the last 4 days. That is phenomenal information. I did not realize the last game has hit that under. So even more reason to hit that under 5.5. I really do think if it goes over, it's because of Vegas. So if you're worried about Vegas at all, you look at the Wild's team total to the under 2.5, because I do think that is going to cash. So I would hate that empty netter to give us a puck line, but pushes over and hits 6. That would just be killer because we're winning one bet to lose another. But that's where I'm going. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here, seeing your comments come in. Thank you so much for being in the comments and interacting with each other. Man, I need to talk a little bit more clearly today. Let's go with that. But you guys, appreciate you guys. Let's make some freaking money tonight. It's going to be a good night out there on the ice. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time, 5:30 Eastern. So stay tuned. And again, if you haven't downloaded the SportsGrid app, not sure what you guys are thinking, but links are above and below. So check it out. There's so much incredible content over there in all of the sports. So you definitely want to take a look. You guys, all the best. I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye now.